Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, uncharted forest, peering into the dimness where shadows dance and whispers of the unknown beckon. That's what it feels like to explore the intricate connection between the digestive system and the mind, a realm once shrouded in mystery, now slowly illuminated by the torchlight of science. Years ago, this territory was a playground for bold guesses rather than firm truths, with most clues drawn from the antics of lab animals rather than human experience. The challenge was to weave a tapestry of understanding that was both honest and approachable, without spinning yarns too fantastical to believe. Picture a weary scribe hunched over a desk in a quiet corner, wrestling with doubt until a voice of reason cuts through. Just lay down what you know and let the future fill in the gaps. And so, the journey began. Unraveling the mysteries diving into this field is like navigating a labyrinth in twilight. Every step reveals new wonders, but the path is rarely straight. Few souls relish the task of charting such murky waters, delighting in the strange flora or hidden treasures that emerge from the haze. Sometimes the trail leads to a dead end, and the only discovery is that you've been chasing your own shadow. Returning to share these tales can feel less like a triumph and more like a humble confession. Not long ago, science observed that certain microbes could lift the spirits of somber rodents, while others transformed the personalities of rats through a microbial swap, a phenomenon dubbed mind-tweaking microbes. These tiny architects of the psyche hinted at a potential to ease human woes like anxiety or despair. Early evidence came from furry subjects, leaving researchers to ponder. Could these microscopic allies work their magic on us too? Today, a handful of solid studies, say around 24, have stepped into the human arena. A few microbial blends proved duds, showing no sway over the heart or head. But the majority? They nudge the human spirit, subtly and slowly, like a tide reshaping a shore. Effects don't burst forth in a blaze of glory. They creep in over weeks, offering a gentle lift rather than a dramatic overhaul. Meanwhile, the medical world has begun to see the gut as a key player in the stress game, a shift that sparked fresh curiosity. What's really happening beneath the surface, and how potent might these effects be? Teams across the globe are digging into different microbial strains, each hoping to unearth the next piece of the puzzle. The emotional landscape. For those probing the depths of human emotion, the first question is a poetic one. What threads weave the fabric of our feelings? Scholars often turn to surveys, crafting queries that map the spectrum of the soul, from gloom to glee, from jitters to calm, from fiery impatience to tender peace. These tools sketch the contours of our inner world, revealing how we sway between light and shadow. In one corner of the globe, a team tested a familiar microbe. Think of it as the friendly resident in those tangy yogurt shots you grab at the store. After 3 weeks, the grumpiest souls in the group softened, their outlook shifting towards sunnier hues. Those already chipper saw no extra bounce, and thornier emotions like rage or worry stayed untouched. Across the sea, another crew blended. 2 microbial comrades, common in fermented fare, and found broader ripples after a month. Not just less gloom, but also tamed tempers and a lighter take on bodily aches. Then there's the Dutch squad, zeroing in on those fleeting dips we all know, those gray days when nothing's wrong, yet everything feels off. These humdrum funks don't make headlines, but they're gold for researchers hunting clues to resilience. How we handle these quiet slumps can signal who might weather life's storms and who might sink. The worst tack? Wallowing in endless what-ifs or finger-pointing, volunteers were asked to picture a lackluster day. No disasters, just a vague blah. Then they rated their reactions. I snap more easily. I dwell on life's flaws. Or I feel the world's caving in. Answers ranged from never to always, scored on a simple scale. Before the microbial mix, their tallies hovered in the normal zone. No red flags of despair or fury. After 4 weeks of daily doses, the placebo crowd barely budged, but the microbe takers shaved off about 10% of their brooding and bristling, small but real gains. Not a miracle cure, not a sugar pill either, just a subtle nudge toward balance. How far can the gut steer our emotions, and which corners of the mind does it touch? Chatgutfram. The tension tightrope. If emotions are a melody played across the nervous system, stress is the tempo, sometimes a steady hum, sometimes a frantic beat. A stressed system is like a coiled spring, primed for action, perfect for dodging danger or leaping hurdles. But kept taut too long, it's a gas guzzler idling in a parking lot, overkill for the everyday. The gut pitches in, fueling the brain to handle the load. Could it also ease the strain? Early human trials suggested stress, be it a looming deadline or a nerve-wracking test, hit just as hard, microbes or not. Yet, those tiny helpers seem to soften the fallout. Fewer jangled nerves, calmer stomachs, steadier immune defenses. Dig deeper, though, and a gem emerges. One microbe eased the sting of stress, but only for the bleary-eyed, those short on sleep before a big moment. In a lineup of 581 souls split into 4 camps, one group got a placebo, while 3 sampled different microbial brews. Only one, call it the sleep stress soother, dialed down the tension for the weary, leaving others unchanged. This sparked a hunt. In another land, researchers who'd once set mice swimming now turned to humans. A standout microbe from those rodent runs, let's name it the memory maestro, had cut stress and sharpened recall. In people, it worked similar magic. Daily, stress logs showed a 15% dip in tension compared to the placebo pack. A chilly hand dunk test still spiked the system, but stress hormones rose less and anxiety didn't spike as high. Brain scans lit up too, learning zones buzzed, brighter, and memory glitches dropped a notch. The gut, it seems, whispers to the mind through nerves or hormones, perhaps easing the memory bank's stress sensors to keep it humming. The shadow of the blues science pegs the gut's sway on melancholy, ire, or strain at a modest 10 to 15%. A quiet courier of internal news nudging us toward gloom or calm. But can it pull us back from the abyss of true depression? Early signs are hopeful. One crew swapped microbes from despairing humans into rats, turning their scampering into sulking. A stark microbial mood transplant. In human trials, though, the story's just beginning. Tools like the mood meter test, 21 questions, probing sleep, focus, or zest, gauge depression's depth. 2 studies stand out. One, a decade back, paired microbes with meds and saw a slight lift, though noise in the data dulled the shine. Another, more recent, found no dent in the blues. From 2 microbial buddies, unless vitamin D levels were high, hinting at a combo effect too faint to call certain. These are mere footprints on a long trail. Could the gut fend off the dark before it settles? Might microbes team up with pills, talks, and habits to fight it? Or do some depressions lean more on the gut than others? The quest isn't for a joy pill, but for wisdom, knowing our bodies better inside and out. The sour secret cravings are curious things. Why do we yearn for certain tastes? Sweeten water to soda's level, and it's a sickly no-go. Add a zing of acid, though, and it's a gulper's delight, our brains cheer. Evolution knows acid from fruits and friendly microbes, not fake fizz. So when we crave a tart bite, say in a sauce or stew, are we secretly courting those good germs? Long ago, sour meant microbes, fermented greens, soured milk, or wine over risky water. Today, we can test this hunch. Grab some veggies, let nature's tiny workers ferment them, and see if your tongue starts to demand more. Shred cabbage or carrots, salt them just right, pack them tight, and wait. Bubbles rise, sourness blooms. No slime, no booze, just tang. Spoon it onto meals and watch your appetite vote. It's not just flavor, it's your gut's ancient wisdom talking.